What's up, guys? It's time for tennis. So if you notice the back of the baseline is a little bit darker, it's because it's wet and the weather is super gloomy on this day, but I really wanted to film, so I'm playing a little bit compromised, so to speak. The ground is wet. I have to be careful. A lot of my footwork is just me stepping cautiously, trying not to fall. But this is, let's call it sort of a pre-test. A pre-playtest? Let's call it a pre-playtest of the Angell TC95. I have this racket at 28 inches long, and I kid you not, I got this in the lightest setup possible, which is 290 grams, I think at 2 points headlight, which isn't super headlight, but at least, you know, it's light, so I have room to play around with the balance and stuff. After I put my grip on and strung it up, the swing weight is 364.5. Super heavy. This is definitely, I mean, it's got to be the heaviest swing weight racket I've played with, but actually not by too much. I've played with stuff in the 350s or so, and funny enough, if you put a dampener on a plus-sized racket, that can actually mess with the swing weight by about 4 to 6 points. So I think 364.5 is a pretty intimidating number, but we'll see how things go. Anyway, I love the racket so far. There's certain things that people say that know about Angell. They talk about how the 95 and the 97 have sort of a different flex pattern. Basically, the flex pattern or the flex distribution is such that on the 95 it's supposed to have a flex pattern that is more distributed through the length of the frame, so that is supposed to translate to a more old school feel, I suppose. And the TC97 has a flex that is more concentrated around the hoop and the throat, and that has a more modern type of feel. So it's not, to me, a super dramatic difference. To be honest, I haven't compared the 97 and 95 yet. I think I like this frame enough to get the 97. That was something I was stressing about when I was making the decision between the 95 and 97 is which flex pattern am I going to prefer? I have no idea. So I tried to talk to Paul about it a little bit, but he's kind of careful with the answers he gives. I think he doesn't want to take too much responsibility for maybe misleading a person. So I feel like I got pretty vague answers with a lot of specific questions. I guess I'll have to be the one to tell you that I didn't feel like this racket had a very obvious difference in the way that it flexed. I've definitely tried some other rackets that feel like they have a way more old school flex. This one just kind of seemed, I don't know, it seemed pretty typical, to be honest, but I maybe wouldn't stress about that too much. But I'll compare the two if I get the two, and I'll talk about that more during the time of this video. I think this was maybe my 5th or 6th hit, and it's the first string bed that I had in there. It's that Tier 1 Duraflux, which I did a review on. It's a string I really like, and I am going to try something different in this next frame. I got it strung up at 48 pounds. I did that myself, and it's a 16 gauge string. So 1820 at 48 pounds, 16 gauge. A little bit thick for 18 by 20 string patterns maybe, but that's kind of just what I have and what I like. I'll see if I want to make adjustments later, but I'll try dropping the tension first to see if I find a place I'm happy with, as opposed to getting a thinner gauge string to get some of that spin friendliness back, you know. But I don't want to get into a conversation about what is and isn't spin friendly here. That's a whole rabbit hole, and I think a lot of people just kind of have the wrong idea about what does and doesn't translate to spin, and maybe they don't have a... They think that one thing is true across the board, when it's more so the case that some things are true for certain levels or certain player styles. It's not so much like thinner gauge always means more spin. That's an oversimplification. So I don't want to get into that here, but I will for a different video. Yeah, 28-inch length frame is definitely no joke. The theory is generally that for every 1/4 inch you add, it puts on about 10 points of swing weight. So any racket that you extend a full inch is going to have 40 more points of swing weight. So you got to imagine maybe it's difficult to make a racket so light on the manufacturing end that you can extend it a full inch and still have the same swing weight. I imagine it's possible, but I feel like it's something that manufacturers just don't really play around with or prioritize, because who's out there looking for a 28-inch racket? Nobody, really. I mean, as soon as you go away from 27 to 27.5, you've already cut down your options to maybe, I don't know, 4 rackets or something. It's ridiculous how few plus rackets there are, and if they are plus, they're probably only 27.5. And then when you go to 28, you get these ridiculous rackets like the Bubba whatever and the that Serena racket. That I wonder what length racket she really plays with. It's a racket that she endorses, but I don't know if it's one she actually plays with. I did use that racket once and I hated it. It had like no feel and it was hard to swing, and it also had no plow through for how hard it was to swing. I just was not a fan. I only tried with one string in that string bed, but it just felt so terrible. I just couldn't play with it. So yeah, this is a racket I am on right now and I really like it. I think I play well with it. This definitely isn't an example of my best tennis because the ground is wet, but sometime I'll let you guys know when I feel like I'm playing close to my best. I have some hits scheduled that I think will bring that out of me, so to speak. And I've gotten another racket enough that I'm comfortable going for things, and you know, we'll see. I'll be filming that, but it's just been so foggy and so moist here. Anyway, I'm curious if you guys are even aware of this brand Angell. It took me a little while to find them. I have heard of them before, but I didn't know that they really offered a custom length option. They're a cool racket company. You can get a custom grip, custom length, pretty diverse range of rackets that you can choose from that have those customization options. So you can choose string patterns on a couple of them, head size, length, grip size, balance, weight, stuff like that, flex on a couple of them. And that's how I ended up with the TC95 at 290 grams, 2 points headlight, and 364.5 swing weight, which is so crazy, and some other stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I kind of just winged this video because the weather's just not been super favorable for tennis, so maybe I'll have to pull some strings and get some indoor tennis in, or just wait it out. We'll see. But stay tuned, and I will have more to share about this racket in the very near future. But I am currently selling all of my rackets except for this one because I think this is very much so in the direction that I want to go. And a lot of the other rackets that I got were kind of me fishing around looking for my next racket. And I feel like I've been doing that for a long time, and I kind of want to just find my next racket. So it's really just down to a few options, but Angell is a solid one. Maybe this or the 97, and if it's not one of these two, then it's either going to be one that I'm actually going to manufacture myself with the company I'm working with, or I might buy one of a few rackets and modify it to be longer if I think the stock swing weight is manageable enough for me to, you know, extend it a full inch or something. But, you know, maybe I'll just go like 3/4 of an inch or something, but I want it to be longer than 27.5. I think it's partly just my preference to have as much length as I can handle. We'll see what I do. It's a journey. Who knows when I'll actually feel like I have my racket, but I'd like to be there sooner rather than later, so, you know. And I'm sharing my journey along the way. Alright, I've definitely rambled a little too much in this video, in my opinion, so I will leave it at that. You guys know what to do if you want to see more content in the future. Like, subscribe, comment. I'm happy to answer your tennis questions and stuff in the comments, so maybe I'll see you here, maybe I'll see you on Talk Tennis. I'm there occasionally. Oh yeah, and Instagram. I'm there sometimes. You can find me there at Time for Tennis, just like my YouTube username is. So, yep. I will see you where I see you. Take care, guys. I hope the weather's better for wherever you're hitting.